Judgment Day is here. I was reborn with a warm heart. I was reborn with a warm heart.
So here we are with the first 7 nights video of 2018, and we've got a big update already in the form of Awakened Spike right here. And so let's check out this skill set right now. First off, his passive Burning Ice Heart becomes immune to all damage 6 times. That pretty much replaces his previous kit, which provides 100% block rate, but yeah, in his awakened form, it instead turns into immunity to all damage 6 times, which is quite okay, I guess, in a way. But still, that remains to be seen. But for now, basing from this test that I did, he's performing quite well and surviving quite well, so that's nice. For one hit, the damage received will not exceed 20% of max HP, so that also helps him survive. Hence, with especially with the accompaniment of block rate from the accessory and jewels, I decided to give him block rate. So if ever block rate does activate, then the damage he receives will be decreased much further. So that helps him survive a lot more, in addition to his high HP, as you can see here, 16,000, as well as his 3,000 plus defense. And yeah, do take note that this is an awaken fully limit break spike, so just in case you guys might be wondering why he does have such high stats. So next is protects all allies from cooldown decrease debuffs for 4 turns. Yeah, I'm gonna reiterate this now. This is only a typo, to be expected from Netmarble. It's this is still the same kit as before from him. It's the spikes still protects allies from debuff, or rather he still provides debuff immunity to all allies, but instead of the previous 3 turns, it's now 4 turns. So in the current meta, there are no units that can reduce turn durations by 4 turns. The only largest amount that they can reduce is 3 turns. So this will definitely help out a lot, and at the same time removes the need for Miho's Miho's use in the previous team. So yeah, at the same time, because Awakened Spike replaced Miho in the team, their Ingrid's passive will not be activated, the immunity to death and stun. But because we have Spike here who has 4 turns with debuff immunity, we won't be needing that as well. So that's good to hear. So freezes the enemy for 2 turns, of course, when under attack. So when enemies attack him, there's a chance that the enemy will get frozen. So it's pretty much a freezing menace, I guess, and it pretty much synergizes well with Ingrid as well as Spike, the rest of Spike's kit. So yeah, next is the first skill, which is Frozen Tempest. Inflicts 1,500 fixed damage to the 3 enemies with the highest defense 2 times. So in short, it inflicts 3,000 fixed damage. So that's quite big. Reduce, especially since it targets enemies with the highest defense. So it pretty much prioritizes enemies that survives a lot longer with fixed damage, so that's good. Reduces the enemy's buff duration by 3 turns and decreases recovery rate by 80%. So that's a big deal, and that further counters Chris, because as you know, if enemies die, Chris provides healing for the whole team, but that won't be as much as effective when the enemies are inflicted with Frozen Tempest. Next is Severe Cold Earthquake. Inflicts 230% physical damage on all enemies 2 times, so in total of 260% physical damage and chance to freeze. So, and at the same time, it also guaranteed critical hit. So that's good as well. Another frozen another skill that provides a chance to freeze, so more opportunities to deal a lot of damage, and as well as, you know, crowd control. And lastly, his awakened skill, crystalline memory, inflicts 2000 fixed damage on all enemies 2 times. So in total, that's 4000 fixed damage. So that's quite a lot. As far as I know, he's the only one who has 4000 fixed damage currently in the game. I think the previous highest is 3000 fixed damage, although I'm not sure about that, but nevertheless, that damage is quite a big deal. So, you know, freezes the enemy for 2 turns, so another skill that freezes enemies and also removes buffs. So this pretty much counters Chris again, because it pretty much deletes zombies. So yeah, all in all, I think the kit is quite good. It provides a lot of fixed damage and chance to freeze, so that's very good. So as for my items for him, of course, 2 speed, 2 HP to survive. As for my accessories, CC accessory plus block rate, and as for my jewels, damage, block rate, and counter rate. Although I think you can switch out block rate or maybe damage with speed jewel if you have one. I don't have one, sadly. And yeah, I have fully limit break on him. As for my other members of the team, we've got Wukong, which is pretty much, you know, still in meta, and Chris, despite, you know, the resurgence of Spike, Chris is still quite useful here, and Ingrid and Teo. And you guys might ask why, you know, I removed Yonhee, because to be honest, Yonhee doesn't provide much utility for the team, although I guess her, you know, defense reduction passive is quite nice, but because of Spike, we don't even need that defense reduction, because he provides a lot of damage in the form of fixed damage, and, you know, the chance to, you know, the freezing skills, as well as the synergy of that with Ingrid. And at the same time, Ingrid also provides fixed damage, Wukong also provides fixed damage, Chris also provides fixed damage, along with the chance to inflict death, since, you know, I assume if most people will be doing a team the same as what I'm doing here, then they won't have as much defense from death and stun, because, you know, the team lacks the amount of offensive heroes needed for Ingrid's passive to activate. So, you know, team comps will be quite vulnerable to death again. Well, assuming that they remove Spike's debuff immunity first. But yeah, as for my pet, we've got a 5-star Kree. I still don't have a 6-star one. So yeah, but still, it served its job, as you guys may have seen from the results, 13-2. Although, to be honest, some of those wins only came from, you know, from those players that once they hit Masters, they just change their arena lineup to 1 unit and just leave it there. So yeah, although still, the results are still quite very nice. It wasn't what I expected. I expected a bit more losses, mainly because I only have level 34 Ingrid here. But yeah, surprisingly, it turned out quite well, so that's nice. So yeah, as for my formation, I've got defensive, yeah, 1-4, and as for my additional buff settings, increase debuff resist rate of frontline allies. So yeah, still the same as before. Teo won't be needing that debuff resist rate, because once he dies, he is pretty much immune to debuff anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much it as for my items for other units, I guess. Of course, the usual, I'm sure you guys already know that. Speed counter for Chris, GR or Guardian's Ring, along with death debuff on the jewel, although some people make use of other CC as their substat instead of death, so that's up to you guys. as for my Jewels, Counter, Block Rate, and Recovery skill. So Wukong next, we've got Speed, HP plus 20, and apply that debuff on the accessory rather. Although I think maybe GR or maybe Willful Ring will be better instead of HP, but for now I'm making use of what I have, hence the HP plus 20%. So as for my jewels, lethal rate, counter rate, and damage reduction from blocking. And for Ingrid, of course, speed, counter. This is pretty much, you know, self-explanatory to be honest, because this team is a speed team, so pretty much everyone has speed items. As for my accessories, electrify and lethal rate, although to be honest, as you may have seen from the arena loop, she doesn't skill as much despite the lethal rate stuff that I have added on her. As for my jewels, crit rate, skill cooldown, and counter rate, although I need to upgrade that counter rate. I need a 6-star version of it, but yeah, it serves its purpose. And as for Teo, speed, counter. So as for my accessories, chance to paralyze and lethal rate, and for jewels, lethal rate, crit damage, and basic attack. And yeah, another note to remember, guys, if we do decide to do this team comp as well, as you may have noticed, we have 3 countering units in this team in the form of Chris, Ingrid, and Teo. Although Teo, I guess, doesn't fully count because I did it on purpose that Teo has lower counter rate compared to Chris and Ingrid here, so that he won't, you know, rob them of their chance to counter. But as you may have seen here, I have added Chris on the other side of the team, while I added Ingrid on the other side, because if you guys remember, some skills only hit 4 or 3 units, and so by having Ingrid and Chris on both sides of the team, if the enemy hits us with with skills that only hit 3 or 4 units, chances are that skill will only hit the side that Chris belongs to, or maybe the side that Ingrid belongs to. So, you know, regardless of which side those skills hit, there's always someone that's going to be counter-attacking. So we're making the most of our countering units. Although of course there are times that skills that hit 4 units hit the whole front line, but still that's not as common as you know, it's not that common. So yeah, we're making full use of the formation that we have right here, so you guys should remember that, so as to make full efficiency or maximum efficiency of your countering units. So yeah, overall I'm quite satisfied with this team. As you may have seen in the arena loop, quite good results, although of course further testing is to be needed. I have seen some other people make use of Ryan instead of replacing Yeonhee with Chris, as I have done here. Some people replaced her with Ryan just to make full use of Ingrid's passive again, although I don't know how effective that would be. But yeah, you know, there could be some other possible good team compositions, but further testing will be needed, and we will be seeing those team comps from other, you know, players as well. We'll be seeing other, you know, people from YouTube do videos of other team comps, or maybe the ones from Reddit or Discord, etc, etc. So as for me, I'm quite satisfied with this team comp. So yeah, I hope this helps you out, guys. So yeah, I guess that's that for now. If you like the video, do like it, comment for your comments, suggestions, criticisms, or whatever, and hopefully subscribe as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.